Hi guys, my name is Chris and you're watching Wrestling Today, so let's start with full SummerSlam Saturday results. Roman Reigns and Jay vs Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. Roman Reigns and Jay kicked off the biggest party of the summer in style as they clashed with Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. Reigns and Jay started to yeet mid-match, but Breaker and Reed stopped the festivities, before Jay dived onto everyone at ringside. Breaker and Reed were able to keep Jay away from making a tag to Reigns, cutting him off from his partner, while mocking the original tribal chief in the process. Once Reigns was tagged in, he lit up Breaker and Reed with a huge dive, almost taking himself out of the match. Breaker tried going for a spear, but Reigns countered with a Superman punch instead. Not to be outdone, Reed performed a massive dive onto Reigns and Jay before Breaker hit a clothesline onto Reigns over the announce table. Breaker and Reed paid homage to the Steiner brothers with a top rope bulldog but could not put away Jay. Once again, Breaker tried going for a spear, but it backfired as Reigns speared Breaker through the barricade, leaving wreckage in their wake. Reed went for the tsunami, but Reigns and Jay turned it around into a 1D. However, Breaker broke up the pinfall. As Breaker went for another spear, Reigns shoved Jay out of the way as Breaker plowed through Reigns. Jay then speared Reed before hitting an Jay splash onto the Ausilla to get the win for himself and his cousin. Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss vs Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. The Judgment Day's Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez looked to defend their WWE Women's Tag Team title against the newly formed team of Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. Bliss tried going for Sister Abigail, but Perez raked the eyes of Bliss. Perez continued to thwart Bliss' plans, putting her knees up as Bliss went for Twisted Bliss. The Queen came in like a wrecking ball, hitting a scintillating moonsault onto both Perez and Rodriguez, but could not score the victory. Bliss came in to save Flair from a Rodriguez attack, but Bliss accidentally struck Flair in the face. With Flair discombobulated, Rodriguez hit a Tejana bomb on the Queen, followed by pop rocks from Perez, but shockingly Bliss came in the nick of the time to keep the match going. Bliss nailed Sister Abigail as Flair knocked Rodriguez with the big boot to earn the win and become new WWE Women's Tag Team Champion. Sami Zayn vs Karrion Kross. With personal pride on the line and a chance to prove each other wrong, Sami Zayn and Karrion Kross locked up in an intense grudge match. Kross pummeled Zayn, frequently yelling "Say it," as he wished Zayn to say that Kross was right about him. Kross tried using a pipe, but Zayn hit the Blue Thunder Bomb to almost win the match. Scarlett offered the pipe to Zayn, encouraging him to use it, which would prove Kross right, but Zayn threw away the weapon. Zayn hit an exploder suplex and the hell of a kick to win the match. WWE Women's Champion Tiffany Stratton vs Jade Cargill. The center of the universe weathered the storm at SummerSlam to defend her WWE Women's title. Tiffany Stratton hit an outside dive, followed up by a Swanton Bomb, but 2025 Queen of the Ring winner Jade Cargill managed to kick out, eventually hitting the Eye of the Storm for an almost 3 count. The two superstars put on an impressive athletic display, as Stratton went for the prettiest moonsault ever, only to be met with Cargill's boots. Cargill followed up with Jaded, but Stratton's feet were on the ropes. Cargill went for a super Jaded, but Stratton evaded the move, before landing the prettiest moonsault ever to win the match and retain her title. Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul vs Jelly Roll and Randy Orton. Jelly Roll competed in his first WWE match, teaming with Randy Orton to take on Logan Paul and Drew McIntyre. Paul sucker punched Jelly Roll to begin the match, but the singer fought back, hitting an elbow drop on the Maverick. Jelly Roll threw some jabs at McIntyre until the Scottish Warrior nailed a headbutt to leave Jelly Roll laying. Paul and McIntyre continued to beat up on Jelly Roll, rocking him with chops. Jelly Roll was eventually able to tag the Viper into the match, as he took McIntyre to a dead-end road with his signature Hangman's DDT. Orton slammed Paul onto the announce table, but McIntyre clobbered the Viper with a Claymore outside the ring. The Maverick nailed Jelly Roll with his knockout punch before crashing onto Jelly Roll through the announce table with a prime splash from the top turnbuckle in an awesome moment. With Jelly Roll in need of assistance from the medical team, Orton was left by himself. Despite the beating he took, Jelly Roll got back in the ring, hitting a choke slam onto the Maverick, before hitting a Black Roll slam onto McIntyre. Orton RKO'd McIntyre, but Paul was able to land a Paul from Grace onto Jelly Roll to win the match. CM Punk vs Gunther for the World Heavyweight title. World Heavyweight Champion Gunther faced off against CM Punk in a battle for the best in the world. Punk initially avoided the chop from Gunther, but the ring general eventually landed the debilitating blow, leaving Punk reeling in pain. The ring general kept chopping Punk, inflicting more punishment and misery on the Second City Saint. Despite an attempted comeback from Punk, Gunther locked in the sharpshooter, but Punk was able to fight out, cinching in a sharpshooter of his own. With the exhaustion setting in for both superstars, the ring general continued to crush Punk, hitting a frog splash, but Punk once again kicked out. Punk went for a GTS, however Gunther landed a powerbomb before hitting a dropkick and another powerbomb, but the ring general could not put away his challenger. Gunther went up on top of the announce table, but Punk pulled him off, leaving Gunther with a perceived broken nose and some battle scars from the fall, leaving him blinded. Punk went again for the GTS, but the ring general pulled Punk into the sleeper hold. Punk somehow managed to get out of the hold before nailing the GTS twice to win the World Heavyweight title. Seth Rollins cashed on CM Punk to capture the World Heavyweight Championship. Moments after CM Punk won the World Heavyweight title, Mr. Money in the Bank Seth Rollins came out in crutches and a knee brace only to throw them away, cementing the ruse of the century. Rollins landed repeated blows with the Money in the Bank briefcase on Punk before cashing it in, leveling Punk with a stomp to become the new World Heavyweight Champion. Thanks for watching.